Bukus taliwan sukus anam batu kadamari.
अच्छा लगता है ना जब मिले कुछ अनएक्सपेक्टेड। इसीलिए पाइए रिवॉर्ड्स अब सेविंग्स अकाउंट के कई सारे ट्रांजैक्शंस पर। ICICI बैंक, ख्याल आपका।
फेविकॉल मरीन, वही मजबूत जोड़ अब पानी में भी।
नया स्टॉप नॉट गोल्स 4 स्वादों में स्टॉप नॉट।
I met some very really wonderful people, doing theatre, and he kind of became my mentor, and he was doing a lot of other things which like designing and stuff like that, doing sets, and I slowly got into all that, and I think I started doing professional theatre from class 7 itself, and then I started professionally designing logos and brochures and stuff like that for people. So somebody told me that, listen, why don't you go to a design school? And I said, oh, meaning there's more to learn. I thought I knew everything, and then I went to NID and I realized it opened my eyes, and I realized there is so much more to learn, and in fact I realized I have to first unlearn everything that I was doing. Piyush got into advertising, and that exposed me to advertising, so I thought, okay, so that's one opportunity, and maybe we can get into advertising later on.
अब भाई से मिलने जा रहे हैं।
छोटा है ना, बहाने बनाता है। छोटी छोटी
क्या है?
तुम्हारा वो लड्डू का आइडिया बहुत ही अच्छा था। हैप्पी बर्थडे छोटू, हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू, हैप्पी बर्थडे।
SBI लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, ताकि रिश्तों के बीच कभी दूरियां ना आए।
So the agency that I first got hired with was low, and it was called Lindaz University, and I was with Lindaz Delhi, and then we did some work there which got noticed, won a lot of awards. So Alec and Kershi Katrak, they brought me here. My first job was with Low in Delhi, and it's strange that I got clubbed with a senior and a very, very dear friend of mine, who also came from NID, Sonal Devral. And so, in fact, when they hired me, they put Sonal and me in the same team. So that is quite strange. And there was a third friend of ours who was a copywriter, Ron Chatterjee. It was quite strange, but I think it was a clever move on Low's part, because they just saw how Sonal and I vibed. And they said, this is fantastic, let's just make a team of 3 people. I got trained in design, but I never did any design while I was in Low. There was Freddie and
Yes, I got it.
Nabil, right?
Right.
They were already a pair, Then we came in, and Neville and Josie, and so it was a time when people recognized that it should be a team. I think what was unique that we were a team of 3,
Right.
So it was a bit of a Amaratpur thing, I think. We're like kids. Whatever we work on at that point in time, it just seems like best. I really enjoyed working on when I was at Low. I really enjoyed working on Monte Carlo, which was a really high fashion brand. At the same point in time, I really, really enjoyed writing a Nautanki, and that had to travel to villages and stuff like that. So I think where else do you get a chance like this? That on one end you're writing a hardcore Nautanki, on another end, you're doing very high fashion stuff, which is very cerebral and stuff like that. My first film as a director was something that I did while I was at Lore. So I wrote a script and I went and narrated it to Rajiv Bajaj. And he asked me, he said he loved it, okay? And so he says, who's going to direct it? So I said, okay, that was in Pune. So I said, let me go back to Bombay and I'll see which director is most excited. And Rajiv just casually said, I doubt if anybody else can be more excited than you are. Why don't you direct it? So I said, okay, I will. Piyush has been the largest influence in my approach to work, because he was so rooted. So I soaked it in like a sponge, that is where we need to be. Work needs to be stuff that comes from people and reaches to people. It can't be something which is esoteric and only hangs in my room as a painting. It's great fun working with Pidilite because they also come from the same thinking, that let's make it simple, let's do something that touches people, let's not do dukandari. Okay, so let's not try and sell, in the face. Let us just make a connection with the audience and it will automatically sell.
करतल दूजो कोई मैं जानू के है करूँ छे करतल दूजो कोई अनथार्यो जो ने ए बुरथाशे माना होय हो जिरे जिरे धार्यो धड़ीनु थाय आ बधू धार धड़ीनु थाय हो जिरे जिरे करतल दूजो
Storytelling to me is very, very, very simple. It boils down to the way we heard stories when we were kids. And what was most critical in that storytelling is how do you keep your audience locked in? So when your mom was narrating a story to you and she said, "एक बार एक राजा था," वो बड़ा भयानक सा था. And so now, by adding that part, that bhayanak part, now she is locked you in. Because first bit was only information. Now you say, okay, there was a very dangerous kind of thing. Okay, so you said "ha," and that "ha" was required. Now, when I'm working on a film, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to reveal the cards in such a way that each card I put, you should be telling me "ha," because you want to know more. It's as simple as that. Actually, in all honesty, I'm not the entrepreneur. My partner Cyrus, he is. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing if he wasn't with me. So, the way I work, I do not want to know what is the cost of an automated gym. I do not want to know what is the cost of that set. And the reason why I don't want to know is I don't want it to start hindering my imagination, my creativity. So if I really want the camera to move like this, and I want it to move like this, irrespective of what it costs. Okay. If I know what it costs, I feel, because my upbringing is a small town, middle class family upbringing, I'll get scared, and I'll say, "Hey, yaar, itne paise gaye, so let's leave it," So Cyrus manages all that, and he ensures that I can do whatever I want to do. One part doesn't change. What you could do before, all the post came in was in a way limited. In a way, it was very exciting because it forced you to think harder. Also, in a way, because clients knew and audiences knew that this is as much as can be done, they accepted that. Okay, so now there may be a lot of opportunity to do things with post, but the expectation is also much higher. In a feature film, if you do a war sequence with 200 people say, that doesn't feel like a war. In the good old days it felt like a war. Okay, now it doesn't, which means while something has become simpler, the bar of expectation has been raised. So again, it has become expensive then, because you need to do more of it. My first brush with fame is now. When you said so, because I didn't think I was famous. I really enjoy the fact that nobody knows me. Okay, I can go for a walk. I like doing a lot of DIY kind of stuff. So I like fixing things myself, and that's my stress buster. So if I don't have anything broken or mending in the house, I'll do something for friends. And I enjoy the fact that when I'm doing that, and I'm thinking, what do I need for this? Maybe I need some piece like that and a pipe like that. So I walk down, in my shorts, I go to the market. Nobody knows me. So that's the advantage of being in advertising, that my face is not on, in front of the camera, so nobody gives a damn. I enjoy advertising so much that it just becomes a little difficult to tear away from it and devote the kind of time that a feature film requires. So I'm not doing regular, 25% free offer and that kind of stuff. I like it only if there is a story, and it's great fun because every month you have a new story to tell. Very, very satisfying in a different way, because they wanted me to do, shoot a couple of clips on what is the day in the life of India. I said, I don't think a director should go there. So I was telling them, let's do a different thing. Let's take all that money, buy small cameras. This is about 20 years back. So I was telling them, let's buy handy cams with that, distribute 10 in your own Times of India office and 10 in the agency's office, and give it to people who travel by train and stuff like that. Ask them to shoot every day, and they'll bring stuff. That'll be real stuff. So it'll be fabulous because people are bringing it, and I'll give you my services only to curate it. Because so every day you'll get 20 clips and say that clip, let's just run it the way it is, you know. And so every day we'll have a new commercial. If I have to do it, then I would treat it differently, you know. And I'm a huge fan of, I've always been from an ID days of Mr. R.K. Lakshman. So I say, in my mind, if R.K. Lakshman was to direct a film, what kind of film would it be? That should be the film for Times of India. So it should be a really sharp, stinging satire on what the country is. Okay, which should be very, very simply done, because look at R.K. Lakshman's strokes. You know, it's just a sketch. He doesn't even render it. Okay, and just a 1 column by 7 centimeters. Okay, so the film should look like that. The film should be like backyard production. So everything that advertising is supposed to be very glossy and very, this is anti that, you know. And so I will do that soundtrack also. I won't use a music director. I'll do human voice, you know, as if I only sat and did it. You know.
I think it's a great way to solve a problem. It's a great way to actualize yourself by telling good stories. And I think it is a requirement of the world to be aware of things available, or even for messages that you might want to give to the public. I mean, look at the entire effort that the government makes in communicating with the people in terms of things that we need to do to be a better society. It's a great medium. Definitely an element of surprise and elation and gratitude to all the people who have helped us achieve this, from family and friends to colleagues. Great feeling, yeah. I feel good about the fact that people from our Indian industry and people from other not so evolved advertising markets for many years, we will all get the feeling that it is possible. If two people from India can be recognized like this, so can we. I feel good about it.
It was a great feeling, and you know, also I'm a bit slow on realizing what anything means. So when Piyush called me up, he said, "Have you checked your mail?" I said, "No, I haven't." Okay. Then I went through the mail. So initially I just thought, wow, this sounds fantastic. Then a little later I thought, wow, it sounds fantastic. So it takes me a little time.
A little late for me. I'm trying to keep all my things into savings now. It will never lose its charm, because these are additional vehicles on which you will have to do storytelling, and these things will coexist. So many times people have written off that cinema will be out. Cinema has never been out. They said radio is out, radio is back to the bank. I think things will coexist. We have to embrace new technology, but we have to embrace, what we really have to embrace is good ideas.